Dear friends, stepping away from the hustle and calculations of life, happiness is sometimes simply having a small garden, a thatched roof house, and a partner ready to stand by your side and shoulder every hardship. Today we're entering an incredibly bright and vibrant new chapter in the story of Toan and Diem. No shocking plot twists, no fierce conflicts. This episode is an absolutely healing piece of footage about the love of hard work and the desire to build something from scratch. Noticing the spacious, empty plot behind their house, Diem discussed a small startup plan with her husband building a solid coop to raise 100 young hens for eggs. With these 100 feathered workers, the couple would have a basket of fresh eggs every morning to sell at the district market, earning some extra cash for rice and groceries. As tough as the idea sounded, Toan immediately nodded in support of his wife. The image of this couple covered in dirt and mud, hauling bamboo chopping wood, and sweating as they build a chicken coop to shelter their flock will bring us incredibly warm feelings. Lean back comfortably, take a sip of hot tea, and tune in to today's deeply rustic episode, starting up with 100 lying hens and the happy sweat of husband and wife. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave a like to cheer on Toan and Diem's amazing work ethic. Let the story begin. Early in the morning, while the mist was still clinging to the treetops on the hill, and the air was crisp, the rustling sound of Diem sweeping the yard woke up the peaceful space. Toan stepped out of the house, stretching and taking a deep breath to fill his lungs. Wearing a frayed tank top and rolled-up shorts, he looked every bit the weathered family man, accustomed to the elements. He walked over to the open well, washed his face to wake up, and headed toward Diem, who was busy clearing the empty space behind the kitchen. Hey wifey, once we finish cleaning this spot up today, we can start digging the foundation and putting up the pillars tomorrow. Toan pointed and traced a wide circle, smiling radiantly. Diem leaned on her broom, wiping the beads of sweat from her forehead. Her eyes lit up with hope. Yes, honey, I asked around at the market yesterday. The crossbred fighting chickens are great layers and easy to care for. Let's just go for it and get 100 for our first batch. I did a quick calculation. If they lay consistently, we could get 70 or 80 eggs a day. Selling them retail at the market would bring in a decent amount, enough for our daily living expenses, with some left over to save. Toan nodded, picked up a dry branch, and squatted on the dirt ground, starting to sketch lines back and forth. All right. For 100 chickens, the coop needs to be a bit spacious, so they have room to scratch the dirt and run around. That makes the eggs taste better. I'm thinking about 6 meters long and 3 meters wide. We'll use palm leaves for the roof, so it's cool in the summer and warm in the winter. We'll wrap chain link fencing around it, plus a few layers of bamboo woven panels to block the drafts. Most importantly, we have to build a really soft row of nesting boxes in a hidden corner. Hens like dark and quiet places to lay and incubate. Looking at her husband's scribbled blueprint on the ground, Diem giggled, plopping down next to him and resting her head on his shoulder. My man is so good at calculating. Anyway, let's eat a big breakfast today, then grab our machetes and head up the hill to chop some bamboo. After hastily eating a bowl of cold rice fried with pork cracklings to line their stomachs, Toan shouldered his machete and grabbed a saw. Diem brought along a thick coil of rope, and the couple walked briskly up to the old bamboo grove on the hillside. The sharp thwack of the machete echoed, breaking the silence of the mountain forest. Toan put his weight into every swing. The tough old bamboo, stalks their bases as thick as an adult's calf, fell one after another. Sweat soaked the back of his shirt, the muscles in his arms bulging with every stroke of the saw. Farming has never been light work. It demands physical strength and endurance. Diem didn't just stand and watch. She bustled back and forth, using a small machete to clear away the scratchy branches, gathering the bamboo leaves into a corner to prevent fires. She skillfully used the rope to tie the bamboo logs Toan had cut to size into neat bundles. Whenever Toan stopped to catch his breath, Diem would rush over using the checkered scarf draped over her shoulder to wipe the sweat pouring down his forehead and neck. She opened her bottle of Clistocalyx tea and held it right up to his mouth for him to drink. "Are you tired? Just take a break for a bit. We're working all day. It's not a race," Diem asked tenderly, her eyes full of care. Toan gulped down half the bottle in one breath and let out a hearty, refreshing laugh. "This is nothing. Just imagining waking up every morning to the sound of 100 chickens clucking to lay eggs makes me feel energized all over again. Come on, let's carry this bundle down the mountain together." One in front, one in back, the two of them carried the heavy bundles of bamboo, their shoulders bearing the weight as they walked down the hill. Under the increasingly harsh midday sun, the silhouettes of Toan and Diem, cast on the ground, walking side by side, created a stunning picture of a husband and wife sharing in life's hardships. The following days were a string of tireless, passionate labor in the backyard. The chicken coop construction area turned into a miniature, mega construction site. Toan grunted as he gripped the pickaxe, digging deep post holes to bury the old bamboo trunks for the main pillars. "Diem, come hold this post straight so I can pack the dirt down," Toan called out. Diem hurried over, wrapping her arms tightly around the bamboo post, bracing her entire petite frame to keep it perfectly balanced. Toan swung a heavy wooden mallet, slamming solid blows into the loose dirt around the base. Thud, thud. Every strike built up the coop's sturdy foundation. Once the pillars stood perfectly straight, the couple began putting up the rafters and cross beams. Toan climbed the wooden ladder, the crisp rhythmic bang-bang of his hammer echoing through the air. Down below, Diem handled the measuring, using a handsaw to cut small bamboo strips for Toan to assemble into weather-blocking panels. Their teamwork was so flawless they barely needed to speak. Just a quick glance or a simple hand gesture, and the other instantly knew what to do. When noon rolled around, they didn't even bother setting up the dining table. Diem laid a woven mat right under the shade of the jackfruit tree next to their construction site and brought out a modest meal, just a bowl of water spinach soup soured with draconta melon and a plate of salty braised dried fish. They sat cross-legged on the mat, their clothes smeared with mud and sawdust, tangled in their hair, but radiant smiles lit up their faces. Chewing on a piece of dried fish, Toan admired the framing of the coop, taking shape, and nodded proudly. "I built this thing to last. Even a Category 3 hurricane wouldn't budge it. I guarantee our 100 ladies are going to live better here than in a luxury villa." Diem smiled, placing the best piece of fish into her husband's bowl. "I know you've worked so hard. Eat up so you have energy for this afternoon. I can't wait for the day we buy the chicks and let them loose in here." The most crucial and meticulous step was building the nesting boxes. Carefully prying thin wooden planks from old shipping crates, Toan nailed together 2 rows of perfectly square boxes, divided into multiple small compartments, placing them in the darkest, most draft-free corner of the coop. "I designed these nesting boxes to tilt slightly outward," Toan explained as he hammered. "That way, right after the hens lay them, the eggs will gently roll to the outer edge. It makes them super easy to collect and stops the hens from accidentally stepping on them." Diem was genuinely impressed. She immediately grabbed a bundle of golden dry straw that smelled like the summer sun and walked over to the nesting boxes. With practiced hands, she shaped the straw into thick, cozy little bowls, lining each compartment perfectly. They're soft as a spring mattress. If they don't love laying eggs in here, I don't know what to tell them. Diem muttered jokingly as she worked already, picturing the plump young hens nesting inside. Finally, Toan used the roll of chain-link fence to enclose a spacious outdoor run, giving the chickens plenty of room to take dust baths and soak up the sun without running wild and destroying Diem's vegetable garden. The 100-hen-egg palace was officially complete after 3 days of grueling labor, as the sunset cast a golden glow over the hillside, and the brand new coop roof. Toan and Diem sat right on their porch steps, leaning back to back as they admired the fruits of their labor. Their bodies were completely drained and aching from days of heavy lifting, but their hearts were overflowing with an indescribable, soaring sense of satisfaction. The earthy scent of freshly dug dirt blended with the smell of green bamboo and dry straw in the evening breeze, creating an incredibly peaceful, rustic fragrance. Diem gently took Toan's calloused, scratch-covered hand, tracing his fingers. "Let's go to the district market to buy the chickens tomorrow, honey. I counted our savings. We have enough to buy 100 of the best young hens, plus a few bags of premium feed to fatten them up." Toan turned to look at his wife, his eyes reflecting a gentle, unwavering resolve. He wrapped his arm tightly around her shoulders, pulling her close. "Yeah, we'll go together tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, our place is gonna be bustling. You better mentally prepare yourself to carry baskets and pick up eggs until your hands cramp every morning." The couple looked at each other and burst into crisp, joyous laughter that echoed through the wild mountains. They didn't need flashy, luxurious material things, and they didn't need loud parties. Right now, Toan and Diem's happiness was simply a newly built chicken coop, the hope of finding fresh pink eggs every dawn, and holding hands sweating together and planting the seeds for a prosperous future right on their homeland soil. Wrapping up an exhausting day of work, Toan and Diem ate dinner together and went to sleep, planning to buy the chickens first thing in the morning. When the sky was just barely getting light with the distant sound of a neighbor's rooster crowing, Diem's small kitchen was already glowing bright red from the cooking fire. Today was a big day. Diem had woken up earlier than usual, steaming a fragrant pot of mung bean sticky rice to give them a solid breakfast. Toan was also ready to go in his dark work clothes, rolling his beat-up motorbike into the middle of the yard and carefully tying 2 iron cargo racks to the sides of the bike. After breakfast, Diem slipped into the bedroom, carefully lifting the old mattress to pull out a tiny plastic bundle. It was all the money she had scrimped and saved from selling vegetables and potatoes over the past few months. A few crisp, large denomination bills lay mixed in with wrinkled small bills. She smoothed out each one, rolled them up, stuffed them deep into her inner jacket pocket, and pinned it securely with a safety pin. "Ready, wifey! The district market starts early. If we're late, people are gonna snatch up all the good chickens." Toan revved the engine, the crisp mechanical roar piercing through the heavy, wet fog. "I'm coming!" Diem rushed out, wrapping her headscarf tightly to block the wind before hopping onto the back seat. She wrapped her arms securely around Toan's waist and pressed her cheek against her husband's sturdy shoulder. The clunky motorbike rolled forward, piercing through the milky white fog as it sped down the red dirt road toward the center of the district. The wind whipping against their faces was freezing cold, but inside the couple's hearts were warmed by the blazing fire of expectation. Today they were going to bring home their family's new livelihood After nearly an hour of bouncing along the bumpy road, the couple finally arrived at the Central District Market. The poultry section was tucked away in the back corner of the market, incredibly noisy and thick with the distinct earthy smell of bird droppings, feathers, and straw. Dozens of chicken cages, big and small, were stacked tightly together. The quacking of ducks, the crowing of roosters, and the loud haggling between buyers and sellers created an incredibly chaotic symphony. Toan parked the bike in the lot and then grabbed the two giant woven bamboo cages, following right behind his wife. Stepping into this territory, Diem was completely in charge. She took a lap around the stalls, her eyes scanning the thousands of chickens crammed together. Finally, she stopped in front of a large stall belonging to Mrs. Nam, a well-known poultry breeder in the area. Inside the cages was a flock of young crossbred fighting hens with glossy golden-brown feathers. Every single one was plump and moving around quickly. "Mrs. Nam saved me 100 top-tier young hens. I'm taking them home for eggs, so pick out the batch with bright red combs that are getting ready to lay," Diem called out in a clear voice. Mrs. Nam happily opened the cage lids, and right at this moment, Toan literally dropped his jaw in shock at how knowledgeable his wife was. Diem didn't just grab them randomly. She rolled up her sleeves, reached into the cage, and snatched up each chicken with absolute skill. Her left hand pinned the chicken's wings, while her right hand felt the breast to see if it was meaty enough. She parted the down feathers on the belly to check the distance between the pelvic bones. "Look at this, Toan." Diem held a chicken toward her husband, whispering an explanation like a true expert. "When choosing laying hens, you have to pick the ones with bright eyes and a vibrant red comb like this. It shows good blood circulation. The vent has to be wide, and the pelvic bones should be wide enough to fit 2 fingers. That way they'll lay big eggs later on without getting egg-bound. Any hen with a pale comb and a paper-thin breast is sick. They'll just waste feed and won't be able to push out a single egg." Toan burst out laughing, nodding in pure admiration. "My wifey is a real agricultural engineer. I thought you just randomly grabbed 100 chickens and threw them in the cage. Who knew it took so much skill?" Toan quickly stepped in to help. Whenever Diem caught one she liked and gave a nod, Toan immediately took it and gently dropped it into the bamboo cage they had brought from home. For almost 2 hours, right in the middle of the noise and dust of the country market, the couple was dripping with sweat, their hands and feet covered in chicken feathers. But eventually they managed to pick out exactly 100 of the most perfect feathered workers. Diem carefully unpinned the safety pin, counted out the exact amount of money to hand to Mrs. Nam, a radiant smile blooming on her lips, even though her face was smeared with dirt. The next challenge was just as tough, hauling 100 chickens back to Sim Hill safely. 4 massive bamboo cages packed tight with chickens were strapped down incredibly securely by Toan, using bungee cords on the 2 side racks and the back of the bike. The beat-up old motorbike now had to carry a massive load, bulging out on both sides, looking exactly like a turtle carrying a giant shell on its back. Diem climbed up and huddled into the tiny sliver of the seat, left spreading her arms wide to grip the sides of the chicken cages for balance. "Drive slowly, okay? If it's too bumpy, they'll panic and crush each other to death, and there goes our entire business," Diem warned anxiously. Toan took a deep breath, kicked it into gear, and carefully rolled the throttle. The engine roared, struggling under the weight. All the way back, every time the bike hit a pothole, the flock of chickens in the cages would freak out, clucking wildly as loose feathers flew everywhere, even sticking to Toan's face. At one point, a hen managed to squeeze her head through the bamboo slats, pecking right at Toan's ribs, making him jump out of his skin. Diem sat on the back, clutching her stomach and laughing uncontrollably at her husband's clumsy reaction. The trip back took twice as long as the ride there, but the air was filled with laughter and the lively sounds of the countryside. All the exhaustion of the long road seemed to vanish the moment the familiar bamboo gate of their house appeared before their eyes. As soon as he parked the bike in the middle of the yard, Toan didn't even stop for a sip of water. He hurriedly pulled out his knife and cut the bungee cords. The couple lugged each bamboo cage over to the newly built chicken coop from last night. "All right, ladies, welcome to your new home." Toan threw open the chain-link door. Diem stepped up to the first cage and popped the lid. She gently reached in, grabbing them one by one and dropping them onto the dirt floor that had already been sprinkled with dry rice husks. At first, the young hens were a bit disoriented. They took timid little steps, their necks pulled in, glancing nervously around the massive space. But very quickly, their instincts told them this was an absolutely safe place. Cluck, cluck. Bark. The clucking began to ripple through the flock. One leader sprinted out into the middle of the fenced-in yard, its bright yellow feet already starting to scratch and dig at the soft dirt. Seeing that the other 99 scrambled out of the bamboo cages like bees fleeing a broken hive. The scene right now was truly vibrant and beautiful. An entire corner of the garden was flooded with glossy golden brown. The chickens happily ran around everywhere, some preening their feathers, others dunking their heads into the automatic PVC water dispenser that Toan had put so much effort into designing. Specifically, a few hens looked like they were ready to pop. They shyly walked along the bamboo walls, curiously peering into the nesting boxes lined with the golden straw that Diem had meticulously prepared. One hopped right up into a straw nest, half closing her eyes, looking incredibly satisfied with how soft her new mattress was. Toan poured a basket of mixed rice and bran into the long feeding trough. The entire flock swarmed around it, frantically pecking at the food. The sound of their beaks tapping against the bamboo trough sounded like the liveliest, most cheerful music in the world. As the late afternoon sun dipped lower, casting streaks of golden light across the sponge-gored trellis and the roof of the chicken coop, Toan and Diem didn't even care about washing up. Covered in dirt and dust, their clothes clinging with tiny feathers, the couple just plopped down on the porch steps, leaning against each other's shoulders as they watched the flock happily pecking at the grain. Diem rested her head on Toan's shoulder, her eyes welling up with pure, fulfilling happiness. "See, honey, our coop is so spacious and they're running around so freely. They're definitely going to lay a ton of eggs. Just give them 2 weeks to get used to the coop, and we'll have a basket full of eggs every single morning." Toan held his wife's calloused hand and smiled tenderly. "Yeah, from now on, we have 100 new family members to take care of. It'll be a bit more work, but seeing them eat so well makes all that effort cutting bamboo and digging foundations totally worth it." The small wooden house halfway up the hill was suddenly bursting with life. The clucking echoed throughout the quiet mountain neighborhood. There were no stressful contracts, no scheming or hustling. Their lives were now measured by small, practical joys. The 100 young hens weren't just a way to make a living. They were a symbol of their hard work, the very first bricks laid to build a solid, peaceful, and storm-free home. The moment they opened the cages and released the flock into the new coop is probably one of the most beautiful rustic sights we've ever witnessed. For genuine hard-working people, happiness is sometimes simply seeing their animals healthy, well-fed, and running around freely. From an empty plot of dirt, through teamwork, sweat, and effort, Toan and Diem have built a little homestead overflowing with hope. Will these feathered workers work as hard as Diem and Toan expect them to? What will the emotional explosion be like when they collect that very first egg at the crack of dawn? Don't go anywhere. Leave a comment sharing your thoughts on this fun chicken buying trip. Hit like and subscribe to the channel to keep following this incredibly sweet farming couple. Wishing you all a truly peaceful evening with your families.
Em ơi, tầm 30 giây được không?